Great. Welcome everyone to this revision class. Let me just get all this stuff sorted out here and we can get started to assisting you get to your MSIPs. All right, excellent. All right, guys, I know that you're all preparing for exams, and from AMILAC Training Center, would like to make sure that we do our part to help you become successful in the final examinations. All right, so do us a great favor. So before you proceed, there's a little button right at the bottom here, which says subscribe. I would like you to subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell so that you can get notified of all these wonderful videos that we're going to be posting on our YouTube page so that they can help you to pass your exams with colors, flying colors, all right? It's doable, you can do it. So what I want to do today is to take you through the difference between supply chain management and procurement. It is very important for you to go into your exam knowing exactly the distinction between these two very important terminologies. Okay, so stay with me and let's see how it can help you. Let's go for it. Now, I want to start by breaking down the two key phrases in the supply chain management. And these are, the first line is supply chain, which you see right here, supply chain. And then I'll talk about the full terminology, which is supply chain management. Okay. So starting with a supply chain. So supply chain management consists of the first two words, supply and chain, and management. So supply chain management basically is a network of individuals, organizations, technologies, activities, and resources for flow of goods or services. Now, this is what I tell the students. Every time you think about supply chain, think of a chain which has links to it, and that chain is used for the flow of goods, services, and I will add information as well, okay? So a supply chain is therefore that network, just like a chain, it's got different links that connect it in order for it to do its work. A supply chain also has linkages of individuals, organizations, technologies, activities that are linked together to ensure that goods move from one point to the other, to ensure that services move from one point to the other, to ensure that information flows from one point to the other. Okay, so that is what a supply chain, a network of these things, individuals, organizations, and technologies, and so on. So keep that in mind. Now, let's go then to explain what supply chain management is. The next line says, supply chain management, therefore, is the management of the customer relationships through the supply chain. So in order to ensure that the networks of individuals and organizations and technologies and activities stay intact, you have to apply what we call supply chain management. So you manage these individual relationships that exist. Now, like I said to you, think of a supply chain as a chain consisting of these elements, the individuals, the organizations, and so on. But when we think about supply chain in that way, let's remember that those linkages that form the supply chain they are not made out of steel like a chain is, or out of metal like a chain is. They are made of individuals who are feelings, organizations that are which are run by individuals, technologies that can grow old, activities that can go slow, resources that may not be enough. And therefore, it is important that the concept of supply chain management is included to ensure that the flow of these goods and services and information is seamless in the supply chain. So supply chain management therefore manages these relationships, and its aim is to reduce cost, improve value, reduce risk. So when you are in supply chain management, that is basically what you do. So then let's look at procurement now. I hope you understand clearly. Now, procurement is the process of obtaining goods or services in any way, including purchasing, hiring, leasing, and borrowing. Now, when you talk about procurement, it is now a strategic function within an organization. This procurement process begins at the point where goods are identified. In the past, we used to be referred to as purchasers because we were unaware at what point the goods were identified, what business case supported the procurement of those goods. Engineers normally would just come to us and give us an instruction to place an order on a particular supplier. But ladies and gentlemen, that has changed. Procurement, therefore, is a process. Remember that. It is a process which begins at identifying of the need, and therefore procurement practitioners must be there at the point where needs are identified. And it goes all the way until goods are delivered and the supplier is paid. Now, right through the whole process of the procurement process, there are different leads. I always give an example of the goose type of migration. When the geese decide to migrate, they form a V formation. They've got a leader at the peak of the V, and that leader changes as they progress in their journey to their destination. The same way with procurement process. The leader who leads at a particular point in the procurement process may change, but of course those goose or the geese, they've got a leader who could be among, it might be, the leader might be at the back, the leader might be in front, the leader might be anywhere in the middle. And the overall leader of a procurement process is a procurement practitioner, the buyer. However, the responsibility to take the lead for any particular stage in the process could go to somebody else. If you are doing supplier evaluation, evaluating them on quality, the lead could be the person in charge of quality. So the procurement process starts at identification of need, and it ends at the time when goods are delivered, supplier paid. I want to show you a picture that I find very, very interesting that explains to you exactly so that you can have this thing heavily imprinted on your mind. So the supply chain, ladies and gentlemen, is an all-encompassing process that starts way from the production of raw materials right until the customer takes their goods and consumes them. Within that, you have procurement. Procurement is a process that starts at the point where the need, like I said, is identified. The raw materials provided, they are shipped into the production line and they are consumed on the production line. The moment those goods leave to go into production, they are handed over into the production line, the manufacturing process starts, which is the operations management, and it is nothing to do with procurement. So procurement ends at the point when the goods are delivered and they're brought. They could either be brought in time to the production line or they're brought into the warehouse, the supplier is paid, and that's it. Procurement ends. But supply chain goes on until the customer gets delivery of their goods and services. Ladies and gentlemen, I trust that you have benefited from this. Now do us a favor, subscribe to our YouTube page and hit the bell, because while we prepare you for the July exams, I will be giving you some of these hints to help you be ready for your final exams. All right, so don't miss any one of them. Thank you so much for staying with us. All the best in your final exams, and bye-bye.